Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Continuing our top 15 series, we've got something special lined up for you today. I know so many of you have been asking for a customer reviews analysis for this one. Well, we're finally doing it, but before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. So, this generator showed up exactly when they promised. And I'll be honest, I'd been circling it in my cart for weeks before pulling the trigger. I was chasing a true whole house solution without the sticker shock, and this tri-fuel rig seemed like a reasonable middle ground. The box looked pristine, and the delivery guy was cool about letting me open it and check for damage before acceptance. No scratches, which was a relief given how heavy this thing is. Getting it ready was surprisingly straightforward. Though you do want a helper if you're not keen on wrestling a nearly 400-pound unit onto a work surface. The first step is flipping it over to remove the shipping brace and mount the wheels. I used cardboard and a blanket to protect the finish as I rolled it out. It's not light by any stretch. I'd expect a solid haul if you're planning to move it around a lot. One thing to know up front, this generator does not come with oil. Plan on having 10W30 ready for the break-in, and be aware the oil drain plug needs a 12mm tool that isn't in the box. The battery got connected with an 8mm socket to remove the cover bolts. After a quick battery connection, the starter button fired right up. It started fine on gasoline and later on propane, which is exactly what I wanted to test. I stuck to a conservative break-in about 2.5 hours, with a light load off and on, then an oil change. The first oil sample did show metallic shavings, as I expected from a new engine, and the second round of oil was noticeably cleaner. I settled into a routine of a couple more hours, then swapped to a synthetic 10W30 after the break-in. The docs do caution against synthetic oil during break-in, but in practice I went with conventional for the break-in and then used synthetic afterward. Switching to propane was smooth, and the unit kept starting with no drama. I do plan one more oil change after a few more hours just to be thorough. The idle control, however, gave me grief at first. The actuator got bent during assembly, which prevented the idle from behaving. I bent it back and adjusted the screw, and the idle dropped enough to stall the engine. After some fine-tuning, it's not great for a whole house scenario anyway. If you're running this to back up your power, you'll probably leave the idle control off to avoid any surge risks. Build quality is solid. This thing feels rugged, and that 50-amp outlet is a real plus versus some peers. The weight is a reality you can't ignore. 388 pounds on a pallet means you'll want wheels permanently, or a trailer if you're mounting it somewhere. It ships on a pallet that doubles as a base for the wheels, so don't rip it off too soon. Operational notes: oil capacity is roughly 1 ton 79 quarts, and you'll see run times roughly listed as around 12 hours on gasoline at 50% load and a bit less on propane with big bottles. There are 3 different plug-ins for cables, which is handy if you're tying into an existing setup, and the remote start isn't exactly indispensable since you end up resetting breakers anyway. Overall, this is a well-made machine that does a lot without the full price of a true whole house generator. If you can tolerate the weight, occasional assembly quirks, and a bit of tinkering on the idle side, this is a solid compromise worth considering. If I needed another one, I'd buy it again. So that wraps up the review. I appreciate you watching, and if you want to take a closer look, I've added the product link in the description. You might also find some current deals there. Take care.